The ladies that are staying home, they're already at risk for feeling stuck in the house and for feeling low. The women that are at home with their kids and suffering from depression, it is a very, very big problem in our society.
And by the way, Cherry, how many women that wear these lounge clothes, pizza clothes, because they stay home with their kids and then they have to go to the grocery store. So they go in those clothes and you see the way they're dressing at home because they throw on some shoes and go out and they don't have the makeup on. They haven't brushed their hair or done anything. And when you see older movies and you see movies of people are always dressed up. Men are wearing suits with hats. And now it's complete slouch wear downtown.
Why did that happen?
It started in the name of comfort, but it's gotten absolutely messy.
Welcome back to another episode on the Fascinating Womanhood channel. I'm Sherry Lynn and I'm here with Dixie, Andelin, Forsyth. Hi.
Hi.
We're here to talk about feminine sleepwear and loungewear. Why are we talking about this today?
Well, because we sleep a lot of hours in our lifetime and we are home and we talk about loungewear. That's just basically at-home wear and not to lose your feminine edge when you're wearing those things.
Yes, I think too, we have so many ladies on our Facebook group that ask us what's appropriate to wear at home when whether it's the weekend or whether they are literally home all day and they're not sure what they should be wearing that's comfortable. Maybe they have kids, whatever situation you have. It's about, I think our society is just saying, kind of give up or just give up on yourself.
It sure appears like it. In fact, I was at a big department store last night shopping and I noticed a rack that said slouchy wear and I thought that's pre-pizza clothes. Which any of you who have read Timeless and follow us know pizza clothes are what the clothes you wear that are ill-fitting, poorly maintained, maybe old, stained, ripped, not ripped on purpose, but grubby.
I know what you're saying. Like there's a society out there, even when you go shopping, that says, wear this, it's comfortable.
Okay, so there's 4 categories, just like in Timeless, and you'll read a lot more about it in the book. Just like your regular clothing are romantic, sporty, classic, and dramatic. And you'll fall into 1 or 2 of those categories usually, but most of us kind of prefer and feel most comfortable in 1 or maybe even 2 of those styles. And so briefly, what they are, romantic is my personal style. Romantic is what you think of with ruffles, lace, flowing things, romantic details. And sporty is the one that some women get kind of a little mixed up about. Sporty is soft fabrics, t-shirt fabrics, plain lines, very comfortable clothes, but they don't have to be pizza clothes. They don't have to be unfeminine at all. The next one is classic, which we think of things like Jackie Kennedy and Audrey Hepburn, people like that dress like that. Melania Trump dresses like that. Mm-hmm. And the last one is dramatic, which I always think of Elizabeth Taylor, somebody who can get away with wearing bling and very comfortable wearing that. They enter a room, you really notice them. So those are the styles, and you can wear those styles in loungewear and sleepwear.
Perfect. So all the ladies out there need to find out which one of those styles is theirs first.
Here's a small, it's not small, it seems small. When you wear these clothes, and I'm not talking about being fully made up before you go to bed, but loungewear, make sure that you do something with your hair and makeup. Because if you're gonna be home all day and you're wearing quote loungewear, that's no reason to have your hair be sloppy. Yeah, we're just gonna say it's sloppy. When you take care of yourself, the rest of yourself, you feel better about yourself.
Yes.
Really do.
It's just about picking what works for you. Because I think a lot of ladies, I don't have time to do my hair, so I'm just going to throw it up in a big messy bun. And that's fine. Some messy buns look great. You pair that messy bun with these loungy, sloppy kind of clothes, it's going to take your appearance to a whole new place.
Well, there's messy buns and there's messy buns, because if you've ever seen any in ads where models are maybe modeling a piece that you add on to make this messy bun, it actually looks really cool. If you look at a model with a messy bun, they'll have little tendrils. They're very carefully done. They're not just thrown up. What is it? A line in a film I saw once said carefully disheveled. Anyway, that's hairstyles. But when you get home, some of you don't even change your clothes when you get home into something else. But some of us do, and that's what we call loungewear. Some people sleep in loungewear, which is fine. Be true to your style. And that can also include intimate wear, romantic wear, or something like that, where we're talking about a romantic evening. You have to be true to whatever you're.
Yeah, I think in terms of lingerie, we're so lucky right now. I think today there's so many options, and it can be difficult depending on your size and your budget. But there are some really beautiful things out there, long slips that you can get that are great for that purpose. And I always think that pairing those items with a robe is really helpful if you can, because if you have that really special slip, but you're not really entirely comfortable in it around the house, like just having a robe that's really special to go over it.
Well, you may have small children that you don't want to.
You are hesitant to even wear it at all because you don't have the appropriate thing to put on top of it. Yeah.
And you don't have to always sleep in those things, but just remember that you spend many hours in bed sleeping with the man you love. And so try to consider what you're wearing to bed every night, that's what you're spending hours and hours.
I know ladies, I have friends that they're just throwing on a t-shirt and athletic shorts to bed. And that's fine, but like you said, you're spending all this time next to your loved one.
Well, we're going for extraordinary, ladies. We're not going for ordinary. We're not going for, you can do that, but when you're going for extraordinary in your relationship, you pay attention to details. And it's not like everything has to be absolutely perfect, but the idea of having one overgrown t-shirt that you inherit from your husband and changing that once a year for another one is not what we're going for here. And of course, you're not going to go to bed fully made up. I'll tell you a little secret, Cherry, you don't even know this. When we were first married, I used to always go to bed fully made up because I thought, I don't want him to see me without my makeup on. I wasn't used to that, so I didn't. He thought it was so strange. then I got lipstick on my pillow, and I had to figure that out. But
that's anyway. Funny. No, I didn't know that. I think there's a lot of ladies out there that would relate to that, though. I mean,
when I was first married, he hadn't seen me without it.
You bring up a good point too. We're going for extraordinary. I like when you say that because think about the tables being turned. When your husband is wearing like a nice pair of pajamas, like let's say he has a nice set that he sometimes wears. How do you feel when you're next to him and he's wearing like a little bit of a nicer set of pajamas versus an old stained hole in the arm, t-shirt? Like it makes you feel better. It makes him probably feel better. So
I know how I feel when, and of course I adore Bob, but I know how I feel when he got up this morning and dressed in his black suit with his striped blue shirt and was heading off to the hospital as compared to when he first wakes up and his hair sticking straight up. Right. And we're all that way. I'm still crazy about him.
And haven't you said a million times, I think this is also in your book, Fascinating Womanhood for the Timeless Woman, aren't men more visual?
Yes. And I'm really glad you brought that up because some women get really upset when their husbands, they'll maybe see something and they'll say that, wow, they'll notice. So maybe their eyes will follow a beautiful woman and she gets upset. Men can take that too far and make inappropriate comments. But the point is men are visual.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
So this loungewear, this sleepwear, you should pay attention to the fabrics. Obviously, you don't want to sleep in something that's scratchy. Like this, you could wear bright red silk and that would be fairly dramatic. Right. I mean, and it would still be fairly comfortable.
The dramatic ladies have a tendency to be very feminine in the colors that they choose. They tend to choose things that are, furry and like they have a tendency to kind of go for those things. So
it can be footwear too, instead of slippers that look like a unicorn.
Right. And that's always something that you want to be careful about is the sophisticated choices that you're making with your fabrics, your prints, making sure that, maybe you have a situation with your man where he loves more kind of juvenile, more child-inspired prints.
Or one particular print, like say Mickey Mouse. He had a special experience. He always loved Mickey Mouse. But normally you would pick a little bit more sophisticated or mature print.
And if you do pick that, that Mickey Mouse, maybe just making sure that the fit is appropriate for you and flattering on your body.
Which is the next point, is making sure that it looks good on you. And some of us are better at telling that and looking and seeing what looks good on them than others. But generally speaking, if you're a very large person or even a very small person, that'll affect the kind of clothes that you wear. Sometimes people get really cold and they're cold all the time, and they can't stand wearing something that is, say, sleeveless or are just too short because they're cold.
Or just something fitted because they want a giant sweater. They want a giant sweater to bury themselves in, which is fine. But then is that where you invest in some slimmer, soft leggings that you wear, so the top is big, but the legs are slim. So some of your figure, the point here is that your figure looks good. So if you're wearing a large sweater, are you wearing a balanced, slimmer fitting bottom so that you have some kind of shape going?
Difference. But remember, ladies, the most important thing is emphasizing the differences. That way there's not all these rules of you can't wear this and you should wear that. Emphasize the difference between you and him. And the more you emphasize, not like you're wearing like a fairy costume or something to bed.
What do you think the sporty lady out there? Because I think there's a lot of that style out there right now, especially in the younger generation. What do you think the biggest challenge is for those ladies when it comes to sleepwear and loungewear? What kind of advice do you have for that specific style?
Probably feminine colors is gonna be your best friend as you emphasize the differences. The colors that your guy probably wouldn't wear as much, and I don't even mean pink.
Right.
Because men are wearing more of those colors, but it might have a little trim on the edge of the sleeve, a little lace or even rickrack or even eyelet or even just a grosgrain ribbon is important. How it fits you, like you said before. You need to consider all these things, but remember, ladies, the bottom line is always emphasize the differences.
Yes. I think too with sporty, like you said, with the colors, picking prints that are sophisticated. If you are going to I know sporty doesn't tend to do a lot of prints, but if you are going to do a print, look for something soft, like you said, that a man wouldn't wear. And sporty prints can be a little bit more on the kind of masculine side and not quite as feminine.
Yeah. But just make sure when you see him, your husband isn't going to think, are those mine? Or are they? That he knows instantly he would not be caught dead in your pajamas.
Yeah. And I think with classic, they probably are more challenged with just what to choose, because I think a lot of the ladies that I know that love classic clothes do struggle with lounge and sleepwear because they really respond to tailored items. Maybe this is the person that wears those matching pajama sets that are really like, like they're...
You mean with the buttons down the front?
Yeah, with the buttons down the front, because those to me are like the version of tailored lounge.
Well, I also picture nightgowns with very sleek lines, like
Absolutely.
1930s styles.
Or even just the t-shirt style. They have some really nice t-shirt style, like fitted t-shirt style that are draping and they're V-neck, and they can be really beautiful and soft. That would be great for someone that's classic.
You don't have to have a large wardrobe of sleepwear and loungewear,
right?
Like you do, but your daily wear. I have many more clothes for daily wear than I would for sleepwear.
I think it's just about seasons. For me personally, I have a ton of loungewear because I stay at home with my kids, and I feel like I've had to build those pieces over the years. And it's hard when you have all the seasons. It's great when you have all the seasons, but it's hard because you do have to kind of shift a little bit in what you're wearing to bed. And I have my winter pajama sets that I wear to bed. But then in the summer, I have more slips that I like to wear to bed because I get hot. And so it just depends on where you live.
Well, growing up in Southern California in Santa Barbara, I didn't know change of seasons, so I never had that. It was just one kind of sleepwear all the time.
But that's where I would say it's all about investing in layers that coordinate with each other. Leggings are really big for me for loungewear, not necessarily sleepwear, but loungewear, because I can coordinate those in the winter. But then in the summer, I'm taking maybe those cardigans and using those at night over something lighter that's thinner. So it's just about thinking about all of your pieces and making sure that they do somewhat coordinate together so that you can switch them out within the seasons.
And as far as like colors go, I remember my mother saying once, color expert told her, I remember it was down in Los Angeles, she said, The one color that everybody looks good in is turquoise.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I think that's so important that you're bringing that up, because more often than not, when you're wearing sleepwear and loungewear, as we mentioned earlier, you're probably not wearing makeup. If you are wearing makeup, you're probably not wearing a lot. And therefore, the colors are very important. If you have a tendency to always wear gray and black to bed, but then you're wearing that to bed and you don't have makeup on, you're not going to look as polished. We're not necessarily saying that you need to look like a movie star when you go to sleep, but it's about taking care of yourself and it's about your self-esteem.
If he's away on a business trip, it's for you as much as for him. Always take care of yourself because it helps your self-esteem. There's enough attacks on our self-esteem anyway, just in life, that if you just one little thing, you're putting some moisturizer on, lifts your spirits. It always does.
It's important that the ladies that stay at home not give up. I hear so many women say, I just wear my PJs all day. And when you got a newborn, okay, you got a newborn, but beyond having a newborn,
there's already a problem with being a new mother and having postpartum depression. And you can't entirely eliminate that because part of it's hormonal.
The ladies that are staying home, they're already at risk for feeling stuck in the house and for feeling low. The women that are at home with their kids and suffering from depression, it is a very, very big problem in our society.
And by the way, Cherry, how many women that wear these lounge clothes, pizza clothes, because they stay home with their kids and then they have to go to the grocery store. So they go in those clothes out. Mm-hmm. And you see the way they're dressing at home because they throw on some shoes and go out and they don't have the makeup on. They haven't brushed their hair or done anything. And when you see older movies and you see movies of people are always dressed up. Men are wearing suits with hats. And now it's complete slouch wear downtown.
Why did that happen?
It started in the name of comfort, but it's gotten absolutely messy. Esteem goes with it. It really does.
Well, thank you so much. This has been so helpful. Thank you for all of your advice. And if anyone watching has any questions about sleepwear or loungewear, we would love to see your comments down below. And don't forget to hit subscribe and like if you like our channel. If we left anything out, definitely let us know what your favorite sleep and loungewear items are, silhouettes that you love, colors that you love, or stores that you love. We'd love to hear from you. And we're here every week, so we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.